Hi, my name is Joe Plummer from Ruinous Media. I have a podcast called Tour Stories, and I'd like to share a tour story with you. In 2005, I went to Sevilla, Spain with the Black Heart Procession. It was the first time I'd ever been to Spain, and on our way there, we had a ton of delays. It took us forever to get there, probably 2 days. When we finally got there, it was mid-afternoon. Normally when we flew to Europe from the States, we'd get there early in the morning and we'd have all day to burn and get used to the time change and deal with our jet lag with coffee and various substances that kept us awake or asleep. And again, on this day we got there in the afternoon, so it was a bit of a relief to know that you were going to go to bed in maybe 4 to 5 hours versus 9 to 10 hours. And so when we got there, we were taken to the hotel, and our rooms weren't ready yet, and we dropped our bags, and the promoter picked us up and took us around the beautiful city of Sevilla, and we saw the cathedral and the university, and I mostly remember it, but when you have jet lag, it messes with your memory. So I do remember it being really hot. Anyways, it was a beautiful day. It was warm, and Sevilla is beautiful. And we had a lunch. I'm sure we had some wine with lunch, which messes with your memory and your jet lag even more. And we continued a tour through the city. Next thing we know, it's dinner time, Spanish dinner time, which is pretty elaborate, or at least it was for us that day. A million courses, lots of food, wine, coffee. It was wonderful. And the promoters were so nice and really took care of us. Next thing we know, it's around 9 or 10, I bet. It's dark outside, and we're headed back to the hotel, and we're pretty exhausted and all happy to be there and happy to get some sleep for the show the next day. And we still hadn't, as I said, we hadn't had our rooms assigned. So when we get to the front desk, they give us our rooms. Everyone gets their room separately, except for me and Toby, the keyboardist and piano player and guitarist. And everyone gets separate rooms, except for me and Toby. We get a shared room, which, it's a little weird. Not that we're too big for that, but we thought at that point we had moved on and we would be getting separate rooms. But whatever, we didn't care. So we get our keys and we walk up these steps through the lobby, right behind the lobby, and we kind of turn back around, and our room appears to be above the lobby. We open the door, and it's a giant loft suite. And it has two bedrooms and 2 bathrooms and a giant living room. And we're just like, we understand now, and we're psyched. And so I used the bathroom, and I opened the window to the bathroom, and I looked out, and you can kind of see the top of the cityscape of Sevilla, and you can see the cathedral poking out, and it's beautiful. And I'm like, we gotta look at this. And as I'm looking out the window, just below me is the roof to the hotel lobby. And there's a skylight there, and you can kind of see down into the lobby. Above us is another roof. So I decide to investigate the roof above us. So I hop out the window, I'm standing on the roof above the lobby, I turn around, and I pull myself up, and I'm on top of the hotel, at the highest point of the hotel. Which isn't super high. It's probably 2 stories. It's not super high. It's probably 3 stories. So I'm up there and I'm looking and oh my God, this is beautiful. We should all come up here and hang, just have a nightcap or something and check it out. And so I hop back down. I go through the bathroom window. I tell Toby, I was like, man, the view's beautiful up there. We should go up there and hang for a little bit. I'm gonna call everyone. So I call everyone. Everyone in the band comes over. I showed them how to get out there, and we're all being really careful, and I'm telling people to be careful. So it's like, okay, we're helping each other out. So you hop out of the bathroom, you immediately turn around and pull yourself up onto the second roof. I'm the last one up. Everyone's up on the roof. I get up. We go and hang for 45 minutes. It's really fun. Take some pictures, of course. And then 45 minutes later, we decide to come down where everyone's pretty exhausted at that point. We're all being gentle, getting down, trying not to fall through the roof or, fall over, whatever. Helping each other out. Everyone's through. I'm the last one. I help the last guy in. He hops to the bathroom. I pull myself down from the top roof. I look back. I'm falling a little bit. My foot hits the skylight. Skylight cracks. I turn around and losing my balance. I see the crack happening. I catch myself and lean forward. And then I watch about a 2 foot by 4 inch piece of glass fall into the lobby. And as I'm hopping up, I see another crack forming and another small piece falls into the lobby. Wonderful. Luckily, I didn't fall through. It's pretty far down there, and I just scurry through the bathroom. I scurry in, and everyone's like, "What happened?" And I'm like, I fucking stepped on the skylight. I was telling everyone to be careful, and I'm the one that messed up. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do. What should I do? What should I do? And knock, knock, knock on the door. Instinctually, someone just turns out the lights, and everyone just goes frozen. Knocking continues. I'm just sitting there going like, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And the knocking finally stops. We don't turn the lights back on, but everyone goes back to their rooms except for me and Toby. And we're sitting there, and I'm just like, how am I going to, I got to deal with this. And Toby goes to bed, knocking happens again, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna look at this in the face and really take responsibility for this. So I walk over to the door, I open the door, and it's this young man who was at the front desk earlier, and he looks pretty scared, and he's in broken English. His English isn't very good. My Spanish is horrible. So we're barely communicating, but he's stressed, and he's like, above, your guy, he kept saying, your guys, and he's saying, your guys, and he, mimicking exploding glass. And at one point he kind of says, you threw a bottle into the glass. And I'm just like, I don't understand. But I was going to really step up responsibly for this. But instead, I play dumb. And I just go, what? What happened? What happened? Like an idiot and a shameless fool. I keep playing dumb, and he keeps saying your guys, and I'm kind of thinking he doesn't think I'm in the band. It's probably because I'm the only one with short hair, and everyone else has long hair and looks more rock and roll than me. And so I just say, I'm just like, what? What do you mean? It's one of the most embarrassing things I've ever done and shameful things I've done in my life, because I was taking advantage of this guy. I was scared, and I was just taking advantage of him. Foolish. Anyways, he goes, come with me. So I'm like, really? Okay, yeah, let me see it. So I walk downstairs with him, and we get under the skylight, and I'm like, oh God, this is so bad. And there's glass everywhere. Again, no one was down. Luckily, no one was down there, and I'm just like still with my little act, and I'm just like looking up, and I'm like, what? I don't know what happened. And he keeps saying like bottles. Maybe someone threw a bottle. I'm like, I don't know. And I just go, I'll take care of it. I'll talk to my guys. And anyways, he goes back to the front desk. I go up into the room. And I'm just laying there all night. I feel so guilty. I basically lied to this person because I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I thought it was going to be super expensive. after I found out no one got hurt, I just was only worried about how expensive it was going to be. And so I'm laying awake all night thinking about what I'm going to do. I hear them cleaning up the glass at like 4 a.m. They even get on the roof and clean up some glass and put some paper over it. It's right by my head. Just a reminder of my stupidity all night. I don't sleep. Around 9 a.m, I'm just like, I really do have to step up now. I go downstairs, different front desk person, and I say, hey man, you know the glass thing last night, the broken skylight? I did that. And he's like, oh, you did? You did it? And he doesn't really believe me at first. I'm like, I did it. We were going on the roof. I tried to explain it to him and I'm like, I did it. And he goes, okay. And he looks serious. He looks a little stressed. He just goes, 1 minute. Gets on the phone, speaking Spanish so fast I have no idea what he's saying. I'm assuming he's on the phone with the manager or owner or something of this hotel. And I'm just sitting there, I'm just like, oh God, I hope this isn't thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I don't know how much it's gonna be. But whatever, I'm just gonna pay for it. And if I have to make payments on my credit card, I will. So, I'm just holding my credit card. In walks the sweet promoter from the day before, and he senses there's something going on with the guy on the phone, and he looks at me and goes, what's the matter? And I'm like, I have to embarrassingly explain it to him again. And he's like, no, you don't have to pay for it. You will not pay for it. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to pay for it. It was so stupid. I'm an idiot. I have to take responsibility for this. And he's like, no, you can't. And he kind of starts getting a little bit mad at me for wanting to pay for it. And I'm like, no, dude, I got to pay for it. He makes the guy hang up the phone with the manager. They start what seems to be arguing, though I can't tell if they're actually arguing or not. And I kind of have to like break them up. I'm like, dude, guys, I'm going to pay for this. And the promoter finally relents and says, okay. And he gets on the phone. I know he's trying to figure something else out. He gets on the phone really quick. And I tell the front desk guy, I'm paying for this. Call your manager. Ask how much it is. He calls again and he's holding the phone and he's like, it's going to be at least $100. And I'm like, okay. Whatever, it's $100. And he's like, at least. And I'm like, how about just, I give you $300 and put it on my card. And he's like, no, I don't want you to pay too much for it. And I was like, you people are too nice to a dumb American who broke a skylight and potentially killed someone in your lobby. So he only takes $100 on my card, and I say, I'm staying here one more night. I'm gonna check with you tomorrow. You tell me if it's more. And he's like, okay. I'm like, hey, look, again, I'm sorry. Tell the guy from last night, I'm really sorry. I took advantage of him, and tell the guy I'm really sorry. I'm a dick for it. And he says, oh, you don't have to worry about it. And I'm like, well, I do have to worry about it. He's like, no, this happens all the time. And I'm like, what happens all the time? He's like, the skylight breaks all the time, every summer. People are up there all the time. And I'm like, oh my God. So I was let off the hook a little bit because it sounds like this happens all the time, but don't do that. Stupid. Don't go stepping on skylights. Anyways, I survived nearly falling into the lobby with a bunch of glass. I did not hurt anyone. It did only cost me $100. I should go back and maybe give them some more money someday. But anyways, the wonderful people of Sevilla excused my terrible touring rock and roll dude behavior, and I'll never forget it. If you want to hear more tour stories like this, go to ruinousmedia.com/tour stories, and you can hear me talk to my pals about their ridiculous things they've done on tour.